Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into Yuval Noah Harari's Nexus, a book that tackles this huge fundamental question. How can we, as a species, be so unbelievably powerful, and yet, at the same time, so self-destructive? Let's get right into it. So, Harari starts us off with this really powerful paradox. I mean, think about it. Humanity has never had more power. We've mapped the human genome, we've walked on the frickin' moon, and yet we are actively causing ecological collapse and building technologies, like AI, that could literally wipe us out. So if we're Homo sapiens, the Y is human, why does all our wisdom seem to be leading us straight off a cliff? You know, we've been telling ourselves stories about this exact problem for, well, forever. You've got the Greek myth of Phaethon, who tries to drive his dad's sun chariot and nearly torches the entire planet, or, of course, the sorcerer's apprentice, who brings a broom to life but has no idea how to stop it. And the moral always seems pretty straightforward, right? Don't summon powers you can't control. But here's where Harari throws a wrench in the works. He says those ancient stories, they get the diagnosis completely wrong. The real danger isn't one person's mistake. It's not some arrogant kid or a lazy apprentice. The problem is much, much bigger. It's systemic. It's baked into the very way our species operates. Okay, so to really get a handle on that systemic problem, we first need to peel back the layers on the dominant myth of our own time, a belief system Harari calls the naive view of information. So what is this naive view? Well, it's this super optimistic idea you hear all the time, that if we just collect enough data, we can solve any problem, that more information automatically leads to truth, and that truth makes us both more powerful and, crucially, wiser. It's the idea that information is the ultimate cure-all for, everything from cancer to racism. And let's be clear, this isn't some fringe theory. This has been the gospel of the modern age. You had world leaders like Ronald Reagan saying that David of the microchip would slay the Goliath of totalitarianism. Tech visionaries promised us the internet would create a global village. The core belief was always the same. Just let information flow freely and good things will happen. And to be fair, this view has some seriously powerful evidence going for it. Just look at the poet Goethe's family back in the 1700s. Only a quarter of his children survived to adulthood, just 25%. Today, in a country like Germany, that number is over 99%. That is a modern miracle, and it was made possible by collecting and sharing vast amounts of medical information. Which, of course, brings us right back to that central puzzle. If this naive view is correct, if more information really does make us wiser, then why are we staring down the barrel of climate change, nuclear annihilation, and rogue AI? Why does our incredibly informed, data-rich world feel more dangerous and chaotic than ever? This is the core problem Harari is trying to figure out. And that leads us to his big idea. The issue isn't really the information itself. It's how we use that information to build the massive cooperative networks that run our world. He calls this the network problem. Okay, so forget the myth of the lone genius inventor in his garage. Harari says the real source of human power, our superpower, really, has always been our unique ability to cooperate in huge numbers. A single human, we're no match for a lion. A million humans, we can literally change the planet's climate. Our power isn't in us as individuals, it's in our networks. But, and this is a huge but, what actually holds these massive networks together? What allows millions of complete strangers to cooperate? Well, according to Harari, it's not rational facts or hard data. It's shared stories, fictions, and sometimes pure fantasy. Think about it. Ancient gods, the value of money, the very idea of a nation. These are all powerful fictions that we collectively agree to believe in. And this brings us right back to the original problem. Our habit of creating powers we can't control doesn't come from individual greed or stupidity. It comes from the fact that our incredibly powerful human networks can be built on a foundation of complete delusion. That's how a whole society like Nazi Germany can become terrifyingly efficient and powerful while being completely detached from reality. So all of this brings us to right now, to the two defining challenges of the 21st century, where this network problem is becoming dangerously real: the explosion of artificial intelligence and the global rise of populism. First, let's talk about AI. And it is so important to understand this. AI isn't just another tool like a hammer or a computer. For the very first time in history, we have created something that can process information, make its own decisions, and even create brand new ideas, all by itself.
It's not just a tool we wield, it's becoming an agent that acts on its own.
And look, this is not sci-fi alarmism. Recently, governments from all over the world, including bitter rivals like the US and China, actually got together and signed a declaration saying that AI could cause, and I'm quoting here, catastrophic harm. The fear is that AI could pour gasoline on our worst, most self-destructive tendencies, with absolutely devastating consequences.
Okay, the second big challenge is populism. And this worldview is basically a direct attack on that naive view we talked about. Instead of seeing information as a path to truth and wisdom, the populist view sees information purely as a weapon in a never-ending struggle for power. It's a world where there are no objective facts, just your truth versus my truth.
Now, the real danger here is that this kind of deep cynicism just corrodes trust in everything, in scientists, in journalists, in courts, in universities, all the institutions we rely on. So just when we desperately need to cooperate to solve massive global problems like climate change or regulating AI, populism tells us to trust no one, leaving us divided, fractured, and totally powerless. So here we are. We're kind of stuck, right? We're caught in this trap between a naive optimism about information that has clearly proven to be incomplete and a destructive, cynical worldview that offers no solutions at all. Harari's big challenge to all of us is to find a way forward, to forge a path right through the middle. We have to reject both the naive view and the cynical one. Our task now is to get really, really smart about the true relationship between information, truth, and power, so we can finally start building information networks designed for wisdom, not just for grabbing more power. And that leaves us with this final, incredibly urgent question. The entire future of our species might just hinge on how we answer it. We are the architects of this new age. So the question is, what are we going to build? And maybe more importantly, who will we become when we build it?